So we'll be doing a weekly forecast on currency pairs, gold, US dollar, Swiss franc, right? So let's start with US dollar, Swiss franc. We have already done an analysis on this, and if you look at it, we are, the H4 time frame here, and basically we saw price switch from a downtrend to an uptrend, and we have a possible switch again to a downtrend, as you can see here, right? So we simply connect our trend line, the first and the second. All right, now you see that price has hit the third time, and then this is the fourth time, and we have a potential possibility that price could hit. Now if you look very well, you see that we had an uptrend here, price create higher highs, and now price has broken structure and is creating higher lows, right? So it has created a higher low, created a higher low, and so the next possibility is now that price is going to create the next high. So if you look at it very well, you see now that price, after creating a low, actually consolidates, and in most of this situation, you see price when it creates a low like this and consolidates, right, it's most likely going to break out and then break down. Okay, so in this situation here, we have a possibility now that price move up here. We are going to be entering here, which is a confluence zone, and also a a supply zone, which is also coinciding with the trend line, right? And then possibility that price will move down, break out from here, where we're going to be cashing possible sell setups. So if you followed up my analysis, you see that we did an analysis yesterday. We posted a video on a trade that we forecasted last week on US dollar Japanese yen, in which we caught above 200 pips, and it was using this particular kind of entry. All right, if you look at it very well, I want to go to the particular chart where we actually forecasted. All right, so this is the trade that we actually forecasted last week, and we had a similar scenario. All right, price actually pulled back from a key zone, and we had price consolidate from a particular key zone here. All right, so we are going to come back to this later, and then we had a breakout from a chart pattern, which was actually this. All right, we actually had price break out of this chart pattern here, and we had a very big move up, right? So we can also look at US dollar Swiss franc, which is having the same possibilities, right? We have the same possibilities on US dollar Swiss franc. Okay, so just as we have analyzed, there's a possibility that after this strong move, we have this consolidation. Price might come out now to tap to this zone here, which is a key zone. And what happened? It moved down. So if you are entering here, this will be a very good possibility, because this consolidation, despite the fact that price is getting higher highs in a smaller time frame, we have the measure zone, which is the previous high, not yet broken, right? So this is the previous high here, which is never broken. So we'll consider a breakout, or when price breaks out of this zone here, because if you look at it very well, you are going to realize that this zone particularly, this is a key demand zone, or this is a key supply zone, which is actually coinciding in a zone where the trend line is coming down. So its price move back here after creating highs like this, right? If price move and then create, because it's moving swing, pull back, then the next possibility is a next impulsive phase, and it might not just pull down straight, it might come, maybe break, and then maybe consolidate before getting down here. So this is the US dollar Japanese yen opportunity. For those who are following up videos in this channel, you should already know we did this analysis. This was based on the trend line strategy, and we identified this as a pattern. So price actually rejected once, twice, thrice, and 4 times, and actually went up. Okay, so when it went up now, we entered at that zone up there, and if you look at it now, you see now we have price like in a channel. Exhausted, they see a possibility price can move up and hit the upper part of that channel. So far, if you want to be entering on US dollar Japanese yen here, we can only drop to smaller time frame, and then we start identifying other possible trend line entries. We identify other minor demand and supply zones where we can be looking at entries. Okay, maybe we are buying and then exiting until when price will hit the upper part of the channel, which we have already seen earlier on. All right, so this is already an exhaustive move where we did last week. So let's look at another pair. Okay, so this is euro US dollar. Okay, you can see there we already have some signs. These are analysis that we already did, right? So if you look at the overall trend, let's look at the daily time frame. We have we had an overall downtrend, but in the daily time frame right now, we have a seemingly uptrend, right? Because we have higher highs and higher lows. This is the previous low, which is in the daily time frame. This zone here is the previous this high here. It's the previous high where price has currently broken through. Price has broken through the high, so we have an uptrending market, right? We have an uptrending market. This is the H4. We have price broke through, create higher highs and higher lows, and each time price creates a high, it comes back, create an impulsive, a pullback, creates another high. So here we have the first demand zone that price has been created. Remember, I just used my parallel channel to connect this, and then we have the next possibility that price could actually hit, maybe reject here, goes a little bit, or comes back and then reach this zone here, and then we have a big move. So we will not be entering based on the 4-hour time frame. This is a general analysis, except we want to take a swing trade, but we can be entering based on smaller time frame. So if you already have this information, then it means you are waiting for price to pull back to this zone here, while in the smaller time frame we can be looking for what patterns here to enter. We'll be looking for maybe double bottom and all of that. So from here we can see be cashing possible smaller entries. Okay, we can be looking for possible smaller entries, maybe even using trend lines, other entry confirmations, and then maybe shorting here. Okay, shorting, we can be shorting here and waiting for price to hit the measure zone where we take our measure trade, and we're looking for buy setups, right? So you might want to join our Telegram channel, because the link is in this video's description and the pinned comment, so that when we bring the updates of the pair, you are going to get notified, right? So let's look at our goal. Okay, goal, we had a very big move that we caught last week, which was so amazing. This is a move that we did, and let me share with you one testimony based on this strategy. It's one of my students who actually took the trade that I gave on goal. This is it, all right? And he actually sent a screenshot. He took his account from about, I think, $90 to about $280 total, right? So this is the trade that we actually analyzed, and basically we actually posted it as well in the Telegram, in our general Telegram channel. Let me show. This is the trade that we actually posted in a general Telegram channel, and this was the bigger time frame, and then we did a multi-time frame analysis. We actually did a trend line draw. We drew a trend line around this zone here, and we actually connected these highs. So we connected these highs like that. Okay, when we connected, we saw price from the daily time frame. So from the daily time frame, we actually identified that price has rejected from a key level, right? This is a key level in which price rejected. We had liquidity grab there, so price still close up below this zone, indicating that there's still a probability that price should be heading for the next week right down. So the next week price could possibly be heading down, and because this is the daily time frame, we have a very good, or we have good swing trades in smaller time frames. Now we drop to smaller time frame, where we actually had to identify. Now we saw that there was already change of character, because what price had broken the low, reverse, broke low and reversed, right? So I gave the signal around this zone here, because price had reversed after creating a strong impulsive move. Price actually pulled back to this zone here, right? So what I did now is I identified this to be a breakout zone, and then we identified this to be also a demand zone. Now price was pulling back where we have our trend line, all right? So that's why I identified that price was going to most likely drop. So this is why you can see I actually kept this, made this trend line here, and I forecasted that down move there, all right? So that is just exactly what price happened to do, because we did a top-down analysis and we know that price is reacting from a bigger time frame. So right now we have price dropping so crazily, but now to get entry setups here, now what we need, we probably will be looking for what entries and smaller time frames. So we'll wait for these pullbacks. We can also use maybe our trend lines. We identify minor demand zones, maybe wait for price to pull back to these zones here, right? So price to pull back maybe to this zone here, and then we're looking to be shorting, and then all of that, because now we have the measure move that is already exhausting. Because you see that for people who identified the earlier move like I did, who would have benefit earlier, but nevertheless the only thing to do now is to identify what pullbacks, identify other demand supply zones, waiting for price to pull back to these zones. Like for instance, this is a supply zone here. Okay, this is also a supply zone here. where price could possibly also be pulling up, and they will be looking to be shorting further. And remember, there's going to be high possibility that price will be moving right down, continuing to be moving down right till when it will make it to this key zone around here, or these zones around here in the daily time frame, and this could take many days, right? So that is it, guys. And for GPU probably have the same almost the same thing we have on euro US dollar, because there are two correlating pairs. So we have daily, we have price creating possibilities, and if you drop to the H4 time frame, right, we are going to see that we have higher highs, higher lows. Price has started creating higher highs and higher lows, and right now as we speak, okay, this is the forecast that I did. I was expecting that price was going to pull back to this zone. So price has pulled back to a measure zone, which is a measure demand zone here, right? And now we have a very high possibility that price could probably be hitting up. So this forecast I did last week on the group, and now you see now that price has pulled back the way I expected. So we have the next possibility of price now heading higher, right? So this is the H1 time frame, and we have a possibility that from here price reject, because we have two confluences to head higher. So that is it, guys. I hope you found the videos helpful. I hope you found the analysis helpful. Remember, this is not investment advice, all right? So you don't invest what you can't afford to lose, like you always see in any forex websites. We are not here to, we are just doing this for educational content. So as you watch, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new by hitting on the subscribe button and notification bell, so that each time I post a new video, you'll be the first to get a notification. You can join our Telegram channel. The link is in the pinned comment below and in the description section, so that you also get updated on how these setups will play out and how you can be taking possible entries. So see you in the next video.